Your healing powers are ignited the moment you believe in them. How can I experience joy, peace, freedom, flexibility, love? We actually just had 2 people have recently sent messages that they have cured themselves completely from their cancer without any treatment. How is this possible? So when I started to see myself as a 300-pound woman in a healthy body, in a healthy vessel, guess what? If you are someone that is seeking a higher level of health in your life, then this video is for you. For years to come, you will change your experience of health in your life if you think from the idea of health instead of thinking from the idea of disease. Disease, right? So what we are actually talking about is a lack of health. It's an idea in the mind. So when we believe that we have a disease or have dis-ease of the mind, we literally manifest it into our physical bodies. For years, I lived from the idea that I wasn't healthy. A woman who lacked health in her life simply because my body appeared a certain way. So because I believed that being overweight or being in a fat body was bad and wrong and was unhealthy, which the world tells us this over and over and over again, the healthcare system will literally tell you that you lack health because you're plus size. But let me tell you this, when I ditched that idea and I realized that health and size and shape of body have zero correlation, I relieved myself from the idea that I lacked health. So when I started to see myself as a 300-pound woman in a healthy body, in a healthy vessel, guess what? Health started to show up for me in my life. So before that, I thought from a lack of health idea. When I thought from a lack of health idea, I literally manifested issues in my life that would tell me that I wasn't healthy. An overactive bladder when I would sleep at night, the inability to go up a flight of stairs without being winded, joint pain all over my body, things like that. I literally manifested those things. Also, gastroesophageal reflux disease, they diagnosed me with, acid reflux, right? I've had times in my life where they told me I have high blood pressure, all those things. But I was thinking from this idea that I was bad and wrong and behaving unhealthy, and therefore I manifested those experiences. But guess what? In 2022, I decided to accept the health idea. I decided to say, well, you know what? What if I'm healthy? Yes, I'm in a bigger body, but what if I'm healthy? What if my heart is functioning properly? What if my liver and my kidneys are working really, really well? What if all my joints are moving with ease and flexibility and fluid motion? And what if my bladder is actually functioning perfectly for me? And what if I climb up a flight of stairs and I feel great and good? And what if my endurance is actually wonderful? All those things. So when I started to think from those ideas, the experience of living in this body started to change. I started to have less of those symptoms. And that was the beginning of me really understanding that health is an idea that I can subscribe to in my mind and then experience in the physical observed world. Then I took it a whole other step further. I then started to ask myself, okay, so if I actually believe this idea and I think from this idea and I live from this idea and I behave from this idea, what would I be different? How would I think different? How would I behave different? How would I show up differently? And I started to realize, okay, so if I'm thinking from this health idea, I kind of want to move my body more. And I started to do it. I started to walk every day. You know, I really want to give my body more rest and recovery and greater night's sleep. I started to do that. I started to really value my sleep more. And I started to value my rest more and recovering more. And then I'm like, well, drinking more fluids. I kind of feel like I want to drink more fluids. And guess what? I don't really want to drink alcohol. And guess what? I don't want to drink 7 coffees a day. And so here I was starting to realize that my personal preferences in my everyday life started to change according to the health idea. And the more I thought from health, the more I wanted to behave in a healthy way. So my desires, my habits, my behavior started to be shaped completely different from this health idea. And then I went even further and I started to reprogram my mind around nutrition and the way in which I eat. And I started to think from this idea that I love salad and I love high protein and I love vegetables and I love nutritious food over The bad food that I used to say. Now I don't even think any food is bad. It's just I prefer I prefer foods that have significant nutritional value over those that don't. And so see how I got rid of bad and wrong from my vocabulary at all? Oh, well, that's bad food. I can't have that. That's not good for me. I shouldn't have it. That's like shame, guilt. Doesn't come from a health idea. Health idea comes from all food is good. It's all substance. It's all sustenance for us. But there's ones that will give me more nutritional value than others. And I want those ones. So I started to fall in love with different foods. At 38 years old, 39 years old probably, I started to like salad for the first time in my life, although I hated it in most vegetables. So this idea of health actually started to change the way in which I wanted to eat, the fluids that I wanted to drink, the way I wanted to move my body. Everything started to shift. And guess what? We did a whole bunch of labs and blood works and tests with my health coach, Mariah Brown. And everything in my life has completely changed from this health idea. Now my blood work actually tells me that I am really healthy. And I no longer have an overactive bladder. I no longer have increased blood pressure. I no longer have fat on my liver. I no longer have acid reflux or gastroesophageal reflux disease. I'm off all of my medications. My whole entire life has changed. Now I climb mountains, right? My whole life has changed from the health idea. So that is my biggest thing, is like, to manifest an experience for you in your life, you must first accept the belief that you are that experience first. And then you will find that you will actually change to mold yourself to be that experience. So what about someone who sits here, you're listening to this, and a doctor's diagnosed you with a disease or a chronic illness or an autoimmune disease, okay? Or even the big C, right? So this is something that I see in my community over and over and over again. We actually just had 2 people in my millionaire program have recently sent messages that they have cured themselves completely from their cancer without any treatment. How is this possible? Because when we think from the health idea, we think from the healed idea, we're no longer thinking from something is wrong and broken and is a problem and needs to be fixed that we need to treat. We start to think from the healed state. We start to think from the health state. We start to think from the idea of what we would love instead of what the world is telling us. So I used to be in healthcare. I was a registered nurse. I used to tell people, oh, the doctor's diagnosed you with this. This is your prognosis. This is what your life is going to look like now. This is where your body's flawed. This is where your body's broken. This is where your body can't heal itself. It can't take care of itself. And the version of me today, like I look back on that, I'm like, oh man, like we have such an opportunity to suggest a different idea to people. We have such an opportunity to plant different ideas and seeds related to health in individuals into the subconscious mind. And I just think there is so much work that we can do here to actually empower people to heal themselves, to cure themselves. So what happens to me if I go and cut myself today? I heal myself. I might go clean it. I might put a little Band-Aid on it. I might use a little polysporin. But what starts immediately after that cut, after that injury that I have to myself, is my body starts to heal it. It starts to repair it. That's our natural state of being, is healing and repair, not dis-ease, not chronic disease, not autoimmune disease, not cancer. It's actually healing. So when you allow yourself to tap into that state of healing, that state of being already healed, you have this faith, this knowing, this certainty within yourself. And guess what? Your cells will actually regenerate and rejuvenate in a completely different way. So I did this beautiful session. It was a Reiki energy healing session in Toronto a couple of weeks ago. And the gentleman that led the session, his name was Emmanuel. I'll never forget. I'm going to see him again real soon. He did the session and he was doing Reiki energy healing on us. And then he said, okay, I'm going to teach you how to heal yourself first. And so rub your hands together, get your healing energy and your healing powers all ready to go. And so I'm going, okay, here we go. And even as I'm doing this, right, I'm listening to him and I'm believing him. And I'm like, okay, yeah, here we go. My healing powers, they're getting all ready. And I could even like feel them warming up in my hands. And then he says, now put your hands where you know you need healing. And so naturally, everybody just went like, whoa, some put them on their legs, some put them on their neck, on their shoulders, on their back, on their stomach. And he says this thing, oh, so good. He says, your healing powers are ignited the moment you believe in them. And I went, oh, that's it. That is everything. Your powers in all ways, but we're just talking about health and healing right now. But your powers in any and all ways to create anything you desire in your life, whatever the desired state is, you have the power to create it. It literally happens the moment you believe in it. Your healing powers are ignited the moment you believe in them. So you can literally use the power of your own mind to cure yourself of whatever it is that you think you have, to actually rid yourself of the experience of it. But you can't be thinking from the idea of it. So I can't be thinking, how do I relieve my pain today? We have to be thinking, how can I experience joy, peace, freedom, flexibility, love, calmness in my body today? How can I experience vibrancy? How can I experience health today? Not to think from the idea of what you don't want, but to think from the idea of what you would love. So I'm going to see myself as health today. I'm going to see myself in the best possible light today. We have people who have cured themselves using their own minds of mental health disorders, things like anxiety, depression, borderline personality disorder, bipolar disorder. We have individuals that have completely rid themselves, went into remission, or cured themselves fully of autoimmune diseases, things like fibromyalgia, Crohn's, colitis, many other things, and then also many different types of cancers, and even things like diabetes. So your body's inability to create insulin to break down sugars, completely cured by using the power of your mind. Right? So this is very, very important work, very, very powerful concepts. But you must think from the idea of health and see yourself in that state where the health issue or the disease or the illness does not exist for you. And your mind will take you to the place where it no longer exists. If you have found this information helpful and you want more, please like and subscribe. And for this video, for anyone in your life that is experiencing any sort of dis-ease in their mind, which is physically showing up in their body, please share this video with them. I think one little idea dropped into their subconscious mind, one little belief, could be the very thing that helps them find the relief that they need in their life to move into the healed state. I'm sending you love. I'm sending you gratitude. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey, and I'll see you again real soon. Only love, Kathleen.